Game 6 of the Eastern Conference quarterfinals as the Chicago Bulls host the Boston Celtics. This is the Celtics pregame report with Josue Pavone. I'm joined by WEEI's Mike Petraglia to preview this crucial matchup of this best-of-7 series that has the Celtics one win away from eliminating the Chicago Bulls. Trags, what's going on, buddy?
How you doing, Josue? Thanks for having me on. I think it's going to be a fascinating game number 6 tonight in Chicago.
Absolutely. I'm with you, Drags. Absolutely. We'll see what's going to happen tonight. We'll see if the Celtics can close this one out. But let's just cut right to the chase here. Is this series over, Trags? And if the Celtics don't win tonight, how confident do you feel about their chances in Game 7, given the fact that Chicago still has two closers in Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler?
I think the Celtics have to close it out tonight, Josue. I think there's too many variables and too many unpredictable factors with the Celtics that we have seen over the course of this series. Hot, cold, and cold, hot, and then they can't afford to go cold again. And for that reason, I think it's really important that the Celtics take advantage of the fact that Rajon Rondo will not be playing again tonight and get the thing done tonight, because who knows what happens if Rondo decides to give it a go in game number 7, if that gives the Bulls some type of emotional boost, which I think it would in a game number 7, and who knows how much he'd even be able to play. But if Rondo doesn't play at all tonight in game number 6, I haven't seen anything from Jerian Grant, Michael Carter-Williams, and not enough from Isaiah Cannon to make me think that they are going to have enough in the backcourt to handle Boston's backcourt.
Did Rondo going down, was that the deciding factor in this series? Like, if Rondo were available in games 3 and 4, do you think the Celtics still win those games?
I don't think there's any question that Rondo going down is the deciding factor. I know there were people in Chicago before game number 3 who said, losing Rondo wasn't that big of a deal. Look at the way the Bulls played all year without him in the lineup. They, were able to win 41 games and all of that. But that's hogwash. That's ridiculous, because anybody with a pair of eyes that watched the first 2 games, especially game number 2, knows that Rondo was the deciding factor in running the Bulls offense. And anybody who watched the Bulls over the last 2 weeks of the season and saw Rondo coming into form, which clearly he was, they knew how big of a factor and impact Rondo had on the Bulls offense. And, when the Bulls needed to score the other night and there was no Rondo, as great a player as Dwayne Wade is, he wasn't able to get everybody else involved. And that's what people forget. It's not that Rondo is a great scorer or that Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler aren't great scorers. The point of the matter is Rondo is the quarterback. And like he was in Boston for all those many years when the Celtics won their NBA title in 2008, they went to the NBA Finals and came a quarter short in 2010. It was Rondo serving as the quarterback of a terrific Celtics offense, and everybody knew where they had to be. Everybody knew their assignments offensively. Same thing with the Bulls in the first 2 games of this series. They were like clockwork. Take him out of the equation, and they fall apart.
CLNS Radio Celtics pregame report is being powered by the SeatGeek ticketing app, the smartest and easiest way to buy and sell sports and concert tickets. Get a $20 rebate on your first purchase by downloading the free SeatGeek app to your phone. Go to the settings tab and click add a promo code and enter the code CELTSNEWS. That's CELTSNEWS, all one word, for a $20 rebate. And so SeatGeek knows who sent you. Drags, if the Chicago Bulls do get knocked out tonight by the Boston Celtics, what do you think happens to my buddy Fred Hoiberg? Does he still have a job in Chicago?
50-50. I mean, I'm not close enough and don't have enough Chicago sources to know. I know certainly going into the series there were rumblings that he was not that popular and that he did not have the voice of the team, or did not have the ear of the team. And that is death on any NBA team, whether you have a lot of veterans or you don't. In this particular case, you have Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Wade, and Rajon Rondo. My guess is that he probably gets relieved of his duties. I don't know about you, Josue, but and I know you certainly have Fred Hoiberg. The question of the series so far that caused him to walk off the platform the other night when he was asked if he thought Isaiah Thomas traveled with the ball in game number 5. To me, that kind of thin-skin reply is kind of an inner look or a peek into the mentality of the man. And I think Hoiberg knows that this series has turned dramatically and against him, and things are working against him. And I think he knows he's on the hot seat, and I think that's a telltale sign. If a coach shows that kind of weakness, I think that maybe that is an indication that he's probably out the door if they lose this series.
Yeah, I agree, Chad. I mean, let's face it. I mean, throughout the regular season, it seemed like he sort of lost his team midway. You saw the comments from Dwayne Wade. You saw sort of the writings on the wall that this team just wasn't buying into him. And then, fast forward to the tail end of that regular season, and it seemed like he sort of gave the keys to Rondo to sort of lead the way, and it got them into the playoffs. And I feel like that had a lot to do with what Rondo was able to do. He finally got his chance to do what he initially came to Chicago, and that's lead the team and do it his way. And I feel like all the guys bought in after game 1 and game 2. All you really heard about from, Dwayne Wade and Jimmy Butler was Rondo this, Rondo that. Rondo shows us video. Rondo knows their plays. Rondo led this team. And you even heard some of that coming from Hoiberg. Now, with no Rondo, it sort of seems like they're back to square one and the team just not buying into what Hoiberg is selling.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to that. You even saw the other night, I think Rondo was trying to do some coaching on the sideline.
Yep, absolutely.
Both strategically and I think emotionally trying to get guys involved in the game. And I think, people rightly so were like, well, why isn't Hoiberg doing that? Why doesn't Hoiberg have that ability to command the team? And, when you look at great coaches around the NBA, they have a command of their team in clutch situations and in pressure situations, namely the fourth quarter. And when you talk to the Celtics, how many times, Joe Sway, have people like Avery Bradley, Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, pay testament to the fact that Brad Stevens never panics. His voice stays the same all the time. He has a single message that he keeps hammering into the team in good times and bad. And obviously, you hear from the players as well that Brad Stevens is incredibly prepared. He knows plays inside and out. So the X's and O's is there. I think the mentality is there with Brad Stevens. And again, not having been around the Bulls all season long and around Hoiberg, I think the X's and O's are probably pretty solid, but I don't sense that Hoiberg has that same command of his team during pressure situations.
All right, Trags, prediction time. Who wins Game 6?
I think the Celtics win going away by between 10 and 15 points. Without Rondo, I cannot see the Bulls coming up with an X factor or an X factor player who can really, turn what has become a very significant tide in the favor of the Celtics. And I think, the Bulls had their chance the other night, just when it was a tie game. When Jimmy Butler hits that shot at the end of the third quarter, you say to yourself, and I know we both did, here we go again. The Bulls are going to find their rhythm. Jimmy Butler is going to get going and, turn the tide back in the favor of the Bulls. It never happened. And I think that was a Bulls shot to really win this series. And I think having missed that shot, I think the Celtics take care of business tonight and win something like 105-90.
All right, he is Mike Petraglia of WEEI. You can follow him on Twitter at Trags and check out all of his content on the Green Street blog at weei.com. He put up some great stuff right after Game 5, so I'm sure he's going to keep pumping out that content throughout the weekend. Trags, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Joe Sway, thanks for your help all season long.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Celtics pregame report. Special thanks to Mike Petraglia once again for joining me and to everyone who tuned in to yet another pregame report. Tonight's postgame show will air immediately following tonight's game on CLNS Radio. I will be hosting the program, so you don't want to miss out. Call in toll-free at 347-215-7771 after the game to get on the airways. Or, just like this show, you can listen to it on demand at any time, any place, anywhere on the CLNS Radio mobile app. For today's Boston Celtics pregame report with Josue Pavone, this is Josue Pavone signing off.